Due to Robert's prior relationship with Sophie's mother, Sophie discontinued their relationship around the mid-season point of How I Met Your Father Season 2. Her split, however, gave her the inspiration to seek out her biological father or perhaps even try dating a stranger. The man Val had just met is still her fiancé, and she has no intention of breaking things up. On the other hand, Jesse finally confesses his actual love for Sophie, but he lacks the confidence to tell her. Only Val and his sister Ellen are aware of this secret so far. A woman traveling to Los Angeles to visit her boyfriend encounters Sid, and the two become friends as they discuss the challenges of a long-distance relationship. Dad of Sophie's mother is the first person she contacts in her quest to learn who her father is. The only person who has seen her biological father is her, therefore, she can only hope that her mother will be able to assist her in this. This time, Sophie is determined to find her father because she wants to identify her other parent. What Sophie's actual objective is with this hunt is unclear. Perhaps she is attempting to find a maternal figure because, when she was a child, her mother was the complete opposite. While Sophie's mother is unable to recall the man's name, she does recall his tattoo and his employment at Lollapalooza. Although Sophie will do the best she can with the information she has, these two hints are essentially useless. Searching for Ike, Val can infer 3 identities from the lengthy list of those who worked at the infamous Lollapalooza in 1991 thanks to her investigative prowess. Only the barbed wire tattoo and the final 3 letters of her father's name were visible to Sophie. It is reasonable to suppose that Sophie and her friends are making a serious effort to identify her father. Sophie's good friends support her in this endeavor. She takes this seriously and won't give up until she finds this individual. At this point, Sophie is unstoppable because she has, for the first time, made up her mind on something important and intends to follow through with it until she reaches her goal. They are Dick Weber Morris, Rick Graham, and Nick Foster. 3 groups of 2 individuals each will search for one of the males, and 1 group will examine each Ike. The word Ike is ironic because it refers to the sense of being frightened and repulsed when gazing at something or someone. Hopefully none of them will think Sophie's father is repulsive. But Sophie still hopes and prays that one of the 3 will be her father. She is hoping that her circumstances won't be similar to those in the hit musical Mamma Mia. In Sophie's situation, she is a single daughter seeking a single father. Who is the father of Sophie? Will she work up the courage to talk to him? The 3 teams have some entertaining experiences as they set out to find the chosen Ikes, who might be Sophie's father. Sid and Jesse go to meet Rick, who also happens to be Asian, in a gym. It is simple to deduce that Sophie Graham's father is not Rick Graham. The other 2 groups still hold out some hope that one of the 2 men on the list could be Sophie's father, even after one guy has been crossed off. Sophie knew it would be challenging to track down her father on her own, which is why she has friends like Val, Ellen, Jesse, Charlie, and Sid who will not only assist her in getting the job done but also show her the way to forging a brand new relationship with her father. Dick Weber Morris turns out to be someone who manages an adult entertainment company when Ellen and Charlie go to meet him. Given that he shares Sophie's ethnicity, there is a possibility that he is her father. He has a tattoo, which is the only way to recognize him. They understand that if he appeared on a show with them, it would be easier for them to determine whether he is really her father. Charlie and Ellen come across as awkward individuals who are unsure of how to go with Dick. Even though they have terrible social skills, they will undoubtedly discover whether Dick is the father. Fortunately, after much perseverance, they learn that Dick is not her father. The sole remaining choice for Sophie and Val is Nick Foster, a hot dog restaurant employee. Due to the fact that he is the last remaining option, Sophie is hoping that he is her father. At first, they believed Nick Foster had died, and Sophie was on the verge of abandoning the quest she had started. Perhaps Sophie believed that if Nick died, she would never speak to her father or tell him about herself. More than she is letting on, Sophie really wants this. She observes a different man in the cemetery delivering flowers to the grave of Nick Foster while sporting a barbed wire tattoo. The group, which has since included Sophie and Val, proceeds to the same hot dog stand as this man. And it turns out that the man is a kind individual who exhibits all the traits of a wonderful father. The gang is aware of this since they tested many dad-related scenarios on him, and the so-called father of Sophie nailed them all. Sophie takes this action because she is willing to have higher standards for her father. She never experienced a stable relationship with her mother, and after observing all of the characteristics of this man, she is convinced in her heart that he is her father. Now that her mission is finished, Sophie can only pray that things will go her way. She wants to talk to him, get to know him, and learn about his way of life. Because she wants to accomplish this on her own, Sophie approaches him alone. After learning that Nick is a Mets fan, Sophie advances the cashier one step before turning around and leaving. She catches up with her buddies at the pub and lets them know she didn't talk to him. Sophie admits that she is afraid of having to get to know her father because she is unsure if he will accept her for who she is and be able to relate to each other's peculiarities and stories. Sophie is concerned that her father won't acknowledge her and likely won't want to communicate with her. She is delighted but also afraid since she is not prepared for what her father might say. All the pleasant ideas and talks she would have with her father may have been made up by her. She is primarily terrified of being wounded because she does not want her expectations of this person to be dashed. How I Met Your Father's 12th episode ends with the man Sophie mistakenly identified as her father stopping by Sid's pub to meet Sophie. Sophie is taken aback and puzzled as to how the stranger got here. He had the option of following her to Sid's bar. There are countless things that could be said about this individual. Perhaps he was aware that she frequented this location since he kept in touch with Sophie's mother. Since Sophie was the one who was used to being hurt, she did not anticipate this to happen. But this time she walked away before her father rejected her. The fact that the man arrived might indicate that he actually intended to speak with Sophie. How should we interpret episode 13? The entire 13th episode will center on Sophie getting to know this man, whom she believes to be her father, to see if he is actually her other parent. The excitement Sophie would experience would likely cause her to overdo the meetings with her father that she wants to schedule. She would insist on knowing him and would want the man to know everything about her. If this man is Sophie's father, he would want to get to know her too, or he would quickly get overwhelmed by this information. Sophie's friends would support her in this situation by keeping it under her control. Sid would probably keep talking to Taylor because it is clear that they are drawn to one another, even though they are keeping it a secret. Despite their commitments to their respective relationships, Taylor and Sid might wind up having dinner together and, without a doubt, sharing a bed. Final reflections after a month-long layoff. It was pleasant to watch this episode. Due to the fact that humor had been neglected for the previous 11 episodes, the episode performed well in both the drama and comedy categories. The friends' search for Sophie's father involves an intriguing strategy, and the screenplay works effectively. This episode of the show is off to a wonderful start. I'm interested to see what this season has in store for us.